All right, welcome to day 2. We're on the road, but Chris of Motophoto Adventures is going to get us off the road. What's old is new again, following Chris Smith. And let me tell you, after 9 days of following Chris Smith on rides, I have every confidence that he will get us someplace fun. Rain is not here yet, which is all you can hope for in the spring on the East Coast. It's gonna rain, but we're gonna enjoy as much of today as we can before that happens. Woo! Time to stand up. Chris got us to some sand. It was really hard packed at first, and now it is not hard packed. It is loose on top. Not gonna lie, I'm grateful to see a little bit of pavement after that. I got a bit shaky. More packed sand. I'll tell you, I had the shock I bought set for my weight when I weighed 220 pounds years ago on this bike. And now that I'm riding it on what are like essentially micro potholes in the packed sand, so you're always it's so stiff. Oh my God. I should be standing up to be saving my back and my hips. It's like a billion little potholes, almost like a washboard road, but deeper. It's kind of wild. And that's my fault for having a spring that is way too stiff for the weight I have now, but I'm certainly not going to buy another custom shock to put on here. I'm just going to deal with it or stand up, because the problem goes away when I use my legs as a new shock absorber. But I have no idea how much deep sand we'll get in, and I have to stand up for the deep sand, so I got to save a little bit of strength on those legs for the bad stuff and just suffer through some of this. Chris tells me he's not a speed demon. I hope you can see back there, but there's a large group of people and Chris is just blowing them off. And as you can see in front of me, he's just gone. Chris Smith is a hooligan and a comfortable rider on that Touareg. He's enjoying it no matter where he is. I'm enjoying this too. Oh, I should mention earlier in a clip, if I include it, where I said it got really squirrely, I forgot to add the caveat of not only was it deep sand and squirrely due to my lack of sand skills, I was a dumbass and decided I should put my camera on. So taking my hand off the accelerator and decelerated in the sand, I just hit start, I hope, on the camera, and then it was like, whoa, there goes the front wheel. So if your skills in sand like mine are lacking, turn the camera on earlier or don't turn the camera on at all. All right, this is fairly decent. Now watch me crash. Well, let's see if we can get that camera turned off while I've got time to slow down. It's a real winner here. We've been on this for ages. Group is way behind Chris because he is a confident speed demon. Nah, he stops every now and again to make sure the crew's together. He's looking back constantly to make sure there are no problems, and I'm absolutely sure that Jason is keeping him informed of how things are back there on the Sena. Me, I'm just trying to keep up with Chris. I'm sure I could not if he chose that I could not, but he's been generous and letting me stay within sight of him at least, which I appreciate. I have said this before, and I will always say this. When you want to ride somewhere, Northeast BDR, MA BDR, Cobder, SCAR, whatever, if you can, it's not necessary, but if you can, find yourself a local. I mean, I downloaded every single track, but honestly, I don't know which ones are the good ones. I just know that they're an opportunity to ride something around here off of pavement. So when Chris said, Frank, you gonna ride? I just took my GPS off and said, thank you, Chris. I'll ride with you. You're a local. The man lives less than an hour away from here, and he's ridden South Carolina. He knows what we want to ride. So, opportunity presents itself to find a local where you're going. Hook up to them, and you're almost guaranteed to have a better day, a better ride, a better trail than you would have been able to stumble onto on your own. Chris has been taking us through some twisty turns and through absolutely gorgeous trees like this. I imagine we'll hit some sand soon, so I just wanted to show you some footage of when you're riding on the Scar, when you're in the low country of South Carolina. It really is beautiful, even on pavement. The trees hanging over the roads, it's very pretty, very, very nice. Not as nice as the off-road, but it is a very nice place to ride your motorcycle. Unlike Florida, none of the roads are straight. Everything's weaving around, even though we're not weaving around mountains like in Tennessee or North Carolina. However, it's pretty cool, pretty nice. Bunch of small towns we're going through, a couple small communities. And then every now and again we hop on a couple of miles of sand, which you may or may not like, but is a nice experience for someone like me, probably for most people, as the sand here in South Carolina is very, very different from riding in Florida sugar sand. I won't say better, I won't say worse, but I will say it's very different. A few of the skills I developed in Florida when riding my 390 down there helped up here, but for the most part, they didn't transition well. And we are back on the sand. You know, one of the things I like about the Scar and the Smoky Mountain 500, you're never on anything terrain-wise for too long. Couple of miles of this, I mean, it's mentally taxing. I really don't want to dump my bike at 37 miles an hour. I have a speedo healer, so it's really 37. And it's nice to get off and take a break, make up some time, hit some twisties. And every part of the Scar I've been on, you never do one terrain or the other for all that long. You're on it enough to say, hey, look at that. Got on some sand, let her loose, let the knobbies bite, had a great time. Now I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna go through a couple of corners. I'm gonna be able to spend more time looking at the beautiful trees, because let me tell you, on this soft stuff, I'm not really looking at the trees that much. I mean, it's pretty and it's in my peripheral vision. But on the pavement, I can look at the beautiful South Carolina foliage. Here, I'm pretty much just checking the foliage for a deer. So yeah, when you're doing these, do understand that it's not really a trail. It's a gravel road or it's a sand road, and you're gonna have a good time on it, and then you are gonna get put back on pavement, but it's never for too long. And if you find yourself in the deep sand, which does pop up, in my experience, which is incredibly limited, I got about 4 days on the Scar now, you're gonna get into some deep stuff, but it's not gonna be that long. You're gonna push through it, and you're gonna get back to the hard pack like I'm in right now, and then you're gonna get a nice relaxing ride on the road. Very, very well balanced. I'm more used to things in the Northeast where you ride the pavement to the off-road, then you ride the off-road till you're done, and you get back on the pavement and go home. And I really am liking these routes. I really am. I like the variety. I like the break you get from one thing to another. And wow, low country of South Carolina, it's pretty. I kind of wish I could go slower, but Chris would just blow out of here in no time. Okay, I'm gonna get back to riding. Looks like we're coming up to some pavement. I'll actually be able to safely turn my camera off. All right, I think I am going to call it a day, guys. I think we're going to stop here and take a look at some things at the Ace Basin National Wildlife Refuge. Again, to summarize my thoughts from this ride, find a local, let them take you someplace. This is the perfect capstone right here. Take a look at it. I had no idea this is here, but I know Chris Smith, and if Chris Smith brought us here, it's worth stopping. All right, folks. If you stuck around this long, I truly appreciate it, and I hope you get out on the Scar yourselves, and take care.